I want to talk to my lawyer. I don't wish to speak to you.
Okay. It's
Um,
that simple, right?
it is that easy, but it is much more difficult than that, Gerard. And if I can,
Yeah.
can I share a quick story?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is me, and I was back when I was president of the bar. So I don't know, 14, 15, something like that. And we had a fundraising event, or maybe it was First Friday, which I think, or not First Friday, but it was a Saturday legal clinic.
Saturday morning legal clinic, man.
Saturday morning.
I spent years there.
Yes, you did. And so I was late going to one of those, and I'm headed there, and I'm on the gas. And sure enough, FHP's coming the other way and turns around on me, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And at the time, we live in Florida. It's hot. It's July. Today's going to be a hot day, right? So I've got dark tinted windows. You can barely see in it. Guy comes up to me, and of course, here I am. I'm a criminal defense attorney, right? I've been practicing as a criminal defense attorney for, better part of 10 years. I've been an attorney for 14, 15 years right here. Guy says, an officer says, a trooper says, "Hey, why I pulled you over?" And I'm like, "Because I was speeding." Oh, dang it. And then he's like, "Yeah, hey, your windows look a little dark. You think that tint's legal?" I'm like, "Absolutely not." And it's like, and so he's walking back to his car, and I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, I just literally did everything I tell my clients not to do. I should have just shut up." So it's ingrained in us and we're taught as kids to trust law enforcement. They're here to do, a good work. And I need to be clear. So first and foremost, I don't know that there's any criminal defense attorneys who are for crime, right? What we are
Right.
really doing is protecting people's constitutional rights. And one of those rights is to have the state prove the case against you. And I need to say this, the vast majority, and I mean vast majority of law enforcement officers are honest and hardworking, and they see it as a calling, as their calling to protect and serve the
Yeah.
community. They're
Right.
fantastic people with a fantastic role that are ridiculously underpaid and have a really difficult job. I will tell you as a prosecutor, we would hold seminars, basically case updates, case law updates for our officers, and the number of hoops that they have to jump through to stay constitutionally legal, protecting people's rights while investigating crime, it's a really long and difficult list. I'll be honest with you. As a prosecutor, I said, listen, first goal of being a law enforcement officer is to make sure you go home at the end of the night to your family. I mean, I think we need to recognize these folks have tough jobs, but we also need to
Absolutely.
recognize they have a lot going on, right? Because they're trying to protect constitutional rights. They have somebody who's made a serious accusation. They're in the process of gathering evidence. And many times they're not equipped to handle all of the things that are going on right there at the scene because it's happening fast and it's happening in real time. And that's why I say, a lot of times we're able to go back and say, hey, listen, there wasn't a full, thorough, and unbiased investigation, and that's, certainly we want that in every case. But the reality is, even the best law enforcement officer isn't able to provide that all the time. So, you know,
Well,
I think
I
I think it's important for us to say, certainly law enforcement has a critical role within our community, but my job is to protect my clients, and your job is to help them in family law court and preserve that family. So
well,
we're not looking at the community as a whole. We're looking at individual people, and we're protecting constitutional rights, one client at a time.
I used to think when I did criminal defense that, what made our job great was I had time on my side. I'm sitting at a conference room table. I'm reviewing the file. I'm watching the video. I can back the video up. I can do all these things. And then, you could become, adversarial with the police as a criminal defense attorney, and you can start to think of it that way. But I think one of the things that I always, really took out of it was it's easy for me to Monday morning quarterback this when I can back the tape up 10 times. I can slow it down. I can read this 100 times over and think about it. I'm not in a parking lot in the middle of the night with the siren light flashing, approaching a car where there may be somebody there who wants to harm me or take my life. So my decision making as a lawyer and my convenience of backing it up and looking at like they don't they have to make split second decisions so that they go do a home. And sometimes those decisions are right and they're trained to try to make right decisions and good decisions. And sometimes those decisions can be wrong, but it's not their fault because they can't. I remember watching, and Rusty, you probably, not to make light of it, but if you watch a DUI video when there's 3 or 4 cop cars out there and the sirens are going off and I'm watching the video is enough to almost make you want to have a little epileptic seizure.
Yeah.
It's, it's a lot going on. And, coupled with, the fear of this person may try to run, they may try to harm me. So they have a really extremely tough job. And like nothing here, should ever be construed as not being appreciative of that. But at the same time, if there's an error, then that error should be exposed.